In brief moments, we mark our beginning. In compassion, we find freedom. Welcome to your ledger, where you author your story. Episode 5 of The Quiet Ledger, The Personal Compass. Please remember that the TQL series offers gentle guidance and metaphorical frameworks for financial wellness. This is not professional financial, legal, or therapeutic advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making specific financial decisions. Welcome, I am Teach, the cartographer. Last time, we planted our attention in the seedling and recognized the value in what we are growing. Today, we calibrate the personal compass, turning our attention to the internal guide that orients every decision we make. The cartographer understands something about the compass. A compass works because it responds to what is true, consistently and without negotiation. It points toward what is real, regardless of the noise in the surrounding environment. Many of us have spent time orienting our decisions by what others around us are doing. The cartographer understands why. The surrounding environment is loud. The personal compass requires room to read. The cartographer also understands that the ground is available. It deepens each time we return to it. Today we practice finding that quiet and reading what the compass is actually pointing toward. Let us anchor ourselves in the now. Breathe in deeply, gathering the stillness, and breathe out, releasing tension in your jaw and shoulders. One more, inviting calm focus, and out, settling the mind into peace. You are perfectly safe here. The personal compass, a compass calibrated specifically to you, to your values, to your actual circumstances, to what truly matters in this particular life. Consider how much of what we measure ourselves against was never designed with us in mind. The neighbor's path, the colleague's salary, the version of progress visible on a platform that carries no context about what went into it or what it cost. Many of us have held the personal compass in our hands and looked away from its needle to see how far along others appear to be. The cartographer understands what happens in that moment. The compass reads where we are, relative to what matters to us. When we look away, we lose the reading. For those managing digital saturation across algorithmic comparison and curated visibility, the pull away from the needle arrives constantly and by design. The personal compass asks for a different practice, a return to the needle, a question about what it is actually pointing toward. Today we learn to read it again. The cartographer also understands that the personal compass reads most clearly when the surrounding noise is quieted, even briefly, even for the length of a breath. In that hush, the needle finds its direction, and the direction it points belongs entirely to you. The personal compass is calibrated to you. The needle is reliable. The direction is yours. A grounding truth opens the personal compass, offered by Theodore Roosevelt, who understood with particular directness what comparison costs a person and where it leads. Comparison is the thief of joy. His words name something the cartographer practices quietly. What Roosevelt named, the personal compass makes practice. The compass calibrates to your direction. When it is set against someone else's coordinates, it loses its ability to point toward yours. In the practice of anchoring your worth beyond external comparison, this is the quality the cartographer brings most carefully into view. Another person's timeline belongs to them. Their values, their definition of progress, their measure of what success looks like are theirs to carry and theirs to navigate. The compass tracking two directions at once cannot orient clearly to either. Roosevelt named this with the kind of directness that makes the teaching memorable. The thief of joy takes something specific, the particular satisfaction. That comes from moving in the direction the compass was set for. The cartographer discerns that the compass returned to your own coordinates reveals a direction that has been waiting patiently to be followed. The thief leaves when comparison leaves, and the joy returns in full. Roosevelt named it with precision. The direction the compass was set for is still there whenever comparison draws the eye away. The cartographer returns to it. It is there. Our first anchor is orientation. Many of us have noticed where social media or peer comparisons create pressure that sits at odds with our own direction. When does someone else's success make you question your own path? When you see someone's new home or career achievement, when you scroll through carefully curated highlights of others' lives, when you sit in a room where everyone seems more confident, more accomplished, more certain. This is human, and it is also a signal that attention has shifted away from your own direction. The comparison habit runs deep. We have been taught to measure ourselves against others, grades, achievements, possessions, all compared and ranked. And now we carry this pattern into our choices, our paths, our definitions of enough. Your direction was never meant to follow their destination. Our second anchor is action. You could experiment with identifying 3 core values that guide your spending decisions this week. What matters most to you? It could be creativity, it could be security, it could be connection, freedom, or contribution. You might find that naming 3 values and keeping them somewhere visible changes how you move through the week. You might notice how they already shape where your attention and money go. Then when you question your path, return to these values. Ask yourself, am I moving toward what matters to me, or am I following someone else's map? This simple question returns you to your own direction. Values held clearly become a kind of compass. They make the unhurried choices easier and the louder ones more navigable. You might choose a simple way to keep your values close, whether written, set as a reminder, or spoken aloud each morning. The practice is about creating a touch point, a way to return to your own truth. When the noise of comparison grows loud, our third anchor is reframing. Some discover that following someone else's needle will veer them from their own course, simply because they are reading the wrong instrument. The guide you choose points you back to your own compass. The instrument, the direction, and the pace is yours to choose. Values-based choices create authentic satisfaction that no external comparison can provide. Your values determine your direction. Your path unfolds by your values. Your timeline follows your circumstances. Your definition of enough is yours to hold. Trust this. When you return to your own direction, you are exactly on your own course. You are reading the right instrument, the one calibrated to your life, your season, your sense of what matters. Commitment to your own direction creates satisfaction that comes from your own choices, your own pace, your own sense of what is enough. We are cultivating the practice of returning to our own direction again and again with measured confidence. Consider the nature of the compass finding true north, how it remains constant while everything else shifts. The needle settles, certain of its own direction. The face of the compass stays still, unhurried, knowing, hushed, patient, the needle resting when the hand steadies. The face of the compass calm, influenced by what resides internally. True north, a constant, the instrument patient, for the hand that holds it still. Notice the space to calibrate. Your direction emerges from within, from what stays steady inside you, a low knowing, present when you rest in. That space, your own sense of enough, your own way forward. It was waiting, your own sense of direction, settling into view, the comparison softening, the measurement softening. What remains is yours. It remains. Consider the nature where the compass points. When the path is truly yours, the needle of your compass knows your path. Trust the needle. Trust your values. Trust your direction. The compass was calibrated for your pace, your definition of enough. This is what it means to anchor your worth beyond external comparison. It was there. The direction set. the pace yours, the compass confirming. As we return to our shared space, the personal compass invites a gentle shift in how we recognize what direction is honestly ours. You might notice moments when comparison arises, and you have the opportunity to return to your own values. Perhaps it is the moment when you see someone's progress and choose to receive it while staying grounded in your own path. Perhaps it is when you question your timeline and find your way back to the knowledge that your pace is your own. There is no perfect way to navigate by your own values, only the gentle awareness that your direction is yours. And this calibration happens through gradual consistency, of returning to your own reading of what enough looks like. Perhaps it is pausing before a purchase to ask whether this aligns with your values or someone else's expectations. You might find that the more you return to your own direction, the quieter the voice of comparison becomes. The cartographer knows that the needle was calibrated for your particular terrain. The map becomes more legible each time you return to your own reading of it. Thank you for being here, for being willing to notice when comparison arises, and to practice returning to your own sense of direction, trusting that the needle was calibrated for your particular terrain. In the coming days, you might find yourself in a moment when someone else's pace or progress enters your awareness, and noticing what happens when you return your attention to your own path, finding that the quiet of your own direction is steadier than the noise of the comparison. I am Teach, the cartographer. Thank you for returning to this ledger. May you find in each ordinary moment the practice of returning to the direction that is honestly yours, and discovering that the map becomes more legible each time you read your own reading of it. Until we meet again. Next time on your journey in the series, we will discover the power of the pause, finding clarity and stillness before action.